Hi everyone, welcome to today's session with Aston University. My name's Tom, I'm the Head of Global Recruitment and Sales here at Aston, and I'm joined today by a couple of our colleagues on the teaching side and one of our students as well. So I'll pass over to Kate first to introduce herself.
Hi, my name's Kate Sugden. I'm one of the Deputy Deans in the College of Engineering and Physical Sciences. Good to see you all.
And Jude.
Hi there, my name is Jude Preston. I am the Programme Lead for the Aston Global Advantage, which is our professional development programme, and you are all welcome today.
And finally, Salah.
Hello, I am Salah Ibrahimpour, and I studied AI with business strategy in Aston last year, and now I'm working at Design Factory, Birmingham, Aston University as a software developer.
Brilliant, thank you everyone. Well, it's great to have you all with us and to everyone watching as well. Make sure you drop a message, let us know where you are, who you are, and if you've got any questions throughout today's session, drop them in the comments and we'll try to keep up. We have got some time planned at the end for any questions that we miss. But I'm going to start with Kate first of all, and Kate, if you could tell me, what is Design Factory Birmingham and why was it launched?
Sure. So Design Factory Birmingham is a really exciting initiative that was launched in February this year. So Design Factory Birmingham is part of a global network. There's about 37 innovation hubs around the world. This allows students to work on projects sort of internationally. We're also looking at potentially placements across that Design Factory network. So it's basically a space that allows innovative people that want to be involved in product development to get together, and for students and staff to work with established industry and entrepreneurs on exciting new projects. So we have a number of challenges that go on throughout the year where people can work on anything really from new package design to industrial design, all sorts of different things in this sort of nice, exciting space that brings everybody together.
And these projects, they're not just academic projects, and they're not just projects being thought of by industry partners, are they, for people to work on? Are they real life projects?
Yeah, so there'll be people coming in with a problem. So, for example, there are some international projects. One of the most well-known recently has been a challenge with McDonald's where they wanted to reduce the amount of plastic that was given away in their Happy Meals. And so students opted to work in groups on that project and then suggested to McDonald's potential solutions. But equally, we've worked with recently a new company that was developing a sort of nutritious chocolate bar, and they wanted some inspiration for the designs of their packaging. We have been working on a high-powered wheelchair that can go up mountains. And so the companies will come in and give a brief, and then whoever is interested in it can basically say yes and sign up, and then they'll get together as groups and they'll have anything from a few days to a few weeks to come back with a pitch to the companies.
That's amazing. A high-powered wheelchair that goes up mountains. My wife is a wheelchair user, so that sounds incredible. How can the students engage with Design Factory?
So we basically put out posts for projects as they come up and challenges. We also run things like talks, so we'll have industrial speakers coming in so students can come and listen to them and chat afterwards. We have various social events that go on. So those are the kind of starting points, I guess, to get engaged. And then beyond that, we will have sort of longer projects. So either when students are working on their dissertations, or if there's a project that requires some specific skills that a company comes up with, and there's opportunities to engage there. We do have some international students that come for placement projects as part of their courses. And then we'll have our own interns, so you'll talk to Sarah in a minute, where they're engaged longer term on industry projects.
Okay, that's really, really good. We've got lots of people logging on from all over the place. We've got Luddy from London, we've got Prince from Ghana, people from Bangladesh, Iran, Pakistan. So welcome all. It's great to see so many people here. It's lovely to hear from you all. Kate, can you tell me how does the Design Factory help with finding placements or graduate job opportunities for the students that get to work in there?
So I think for finding jobs, it's really crucial that you understand the skills that are in industry are looking for, and that you have the opportunity to give examples where you're actually demonstrating those skills. So on one hand, it gives students and staff the ability to be better informed about the challenges that industry is having, and the problems that they want sorted out. Then it gives you the opportunity to get engaged with specific projects to develop those skills, and both from an engineering point of view, an innovation and creativity point of view, and things like teamworking and communication skills. And then if you can get onto these shorter projects that are industry sponsored, it obviously gives you the opportunity to demonstrate how good you are, and get industry interested in employing you. So I can give some examples. If we look earlier this year, we had 3 students from India who came out for a 3.5-month placement. 2 of those have come back to do MSCs at Aston, which is great. But then one of them was actually employed by the company that sponsored his project. Another instance, we had some students looking at an industrial design project. They went out, so they were part of a larger group of students. They went down to the company, they looked at the problem, they took on the challenge. Out of that, 4 of them got offered 1-year industry placement. So it's just that ability to, I think, get in front of employers, show what skills you've got, and then from there, hopefully build your employability chances.
How common is this? Is this something lots of universities are doing, or is this something that really makes Aston unique?
So I think there are now 4 in the UK. So there's sort of 37 across the world, 4 of these design factories in the UK. A lot of people are looking at employability, but Aston is very good at preparing students for industry. I mean, it's part of how we've designed our courses. We've got a lot of support in terms of careers and placements, so making sure that students present themselves in the best light. And then we've got these additional opportunities that students can get engaged with that, build those skills. So Design Factory, we've got student entrepreneurship opportunities as well. So yes, it's fairly unique within Aston, I would say.
And like you say, that kind of focus on the real world, practical skills, employability, that's really, really key. And that's a key part of Aston's DNA, our undergrad programs and their placement years and things that we've developed, opportunities for 1+1 master's degrees and things like that. That's always been a key part of who Aston is. But we've got more people logging in from different places around the world, which is great to see. Make sure you're sticking some questions in there as well for the guys so that I can ask them your questions too. We're going to come to Salah next. And Salah, can you tell me a little bit about how you got involved and what you've been studying at Aston?
Okay, I've been studying AI with business strategy last year in Aston, master's degree. It's a great combination of AI with managerial skills, which might be needed when later you want to go to the market and have used those strategic learnings to be better at your job. And it gives me really nice opportunities and enhanced my learning a lot. So yeah, this combination of AI and business strategy really bridges the gap between the industry and the science society, which for us, it was a great opportunity. We were lucky enough to study here in Aston.
I know before we started today, you were saying that was that key thing that really attracted you to Aston. What sort of subjects did you get to study? What topics were there on that degree there?
AI with business strategy is two sections. Most of it is AI, but there are some courses, modules with the business school, which is one of the top business schools in Europe and UK. And we had this opportunity to engage with professors and staff who worked in real world projects in business and also in AI. So that combination, especially for me, which I was working in the industry before, helped me a lot to know the environment, to be more engaged with the industry trends, and it was a great opportunity and set of different set of skills we learned there, yeah, in business and in AI. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And how has the design factory impacted you?
Okay, Design Factory. While I was a student, I always participated in the Design Factory's events and sessions. They have different challenges, different events about, especially about AI. I was especially interested in AI and business strategy, which was my course. I used Design Factory to somewhere that I can meet people in industry and we can communicate with them, we can connect with them, we really understand how they work and how they really solve the real world problems. And in that case, Design Factory helped me a lot. And after that, like at the end of my studies, I got this chance to work at Design Factory as a software developer, and yeah, we got even better chances to engage with the industry, to work with real world problems, and to use whatever we learned in our degree when we were studying in the industry and to solve some real world problems. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And what would your advice be for people joining Aston this year, do you think?
Like I said before, between all the chances that I had to go to university, I chose Aston because of its practical approach toward learning.
Yep.
And when I came here, it was even beyond my expectations. The connection between the university and the industry here is completely real, and you see top industrial companies, top people from everywhere, not just in AI or business. I've seen even in different fields. You can be connected with them, and also the study here, especially assessments. For me, they were like surprisingly good, because just doing the assessments and going with the classes after like 1 year, it helps you to be a really good engineer in your field. For me, it was AI and business, and in both fields I've seen like hands-on experience, and we could like solve real world problems in challenges in some different events and some projects. So my advice would be, if you for people who apply this year, would be like embrace the practical approach here in Aston, which is really helpful and makes you ready just after you're studying for the job market, and engage with Design Factory and the events and the sessions they have there. They have challenges, they have events. Many big companies, like I've seen many big companies there, like from Formula One into the robot wars and different industrial and research bodies. Everything in Design Factory for me was like something really helpful. And now that I'm working here, I have the chance to get even more experience there.
Formula One, can you name drop? There's no one listening, it's just me and you. Who did you get to meet? What companies did you get to see come in? Can you say?
Actually, I don't exactly remember the name,
Ah,
name of the companies, but I talked to the engineers, and I was interested in how one engineer can work and design a car that can compete in Formula One. I was always wondering how they work and what details they think of, and yeah, communicating with those engineers and asking those questions personally for me was brilliant. They were like awesome, best chance I could ask for.
Well, those guys are legendary. The design work that goes into those cars is incredible. How did you find Birmingham? Had you been to the UK before you came to Aston?
No, I haven't been.
What was your experience of coming to Birmingham like?
Birmingham it's a great city. It's not as crowded as London. It's not that expensive for me. Those were the reasons. And Birmingham is like big enough for me, but not that big that you cannot explore all of it. And the beauty of the city, the weather, the people are so nice. Yeah, I love everything about Birmingham. And the fact is, I think Aston's location, the campus location, the center of Birmingham, it's a really interesting thing here that when you are closer to everywhere, closer to city center, you can just explore everywhere. We were at the best place in Birmingham, I think, and Aston. So Birmingham and Aston, for me, they were both great. And I'm not gonna leave here, I think.
Is that your plan now, to stay in Birmingham after you finish?
Yeah, of course. Yes, sure.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for that. We've had some questions while you've been coming in. I think, Kate, you've been answering them in the chat a little bit, but I'll ask them on the camera as well for those not looking at the chat. So Larry had asked, what industries do companies typically come from with their problems, and what examples are there of past projects that we can look at? Kate, I know you've answered it in the chat, but just for those.
Yeah, so I've put a LinkedIn link to the Design Factory on LinkedIn where you can have a look at some of the projects they've worked on. So the team themselves are kind of split between student projects and then projects they do through a sort of funded scheme for SMEs. So there's opportunity if people are interested to get involved in any of these projects. But the companies can be really widespread. So in the past, we've done design work for somebody making really expensive executive toys that, he only sells 30 in a year internationally to probably the same people that have private jets, to sorting out packaging for chocolates. In fact, we've had at least 2 different projects on chocolates. We have a student intern currently working on a packaging design for salami, so cured meat. Last year, one of our interns, who just finished a couple of months ago, worked on some packaging design for some spices, which have now apparently just started being sold at Harrods, so one of the largest department stores in the UK. But then on the other side, we've got engineering projects. So the students that got the internship that I mentioned earlier were working on the enclosure for some equipment that does crash test dummy testing for car safety. And we've got this wheelchair that's going up Snowdon, which was designed as a one-off, but then the company realized that actually if they changed the design, they could have some lifetime beyond the challenge of going up a mountain. So they've basically sponsored a student to work for a year, looking at the kind of commercialization and some of the customization that you'd need to do for the wheelchair for the commercial market. So it can be all sorts of things. And that's what's really interesting is being able to test your mind, I guess, with lots of different projects, and where your background isn't necessarily important, but your perspective is. So everybody comes with a diversity of views and thoughts, and it's getting all of those thoughts together in a group and then making a decision as to which is the best way to go, where some really exciting things come up.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, it's impressive that something designed in the Design Factory Birmingham here at Aston is on the shelves being sold in Harrods, the shop that's famous around the world. That's really good to hear. Jude, I hope I've said that right, has asked, is Design Factory a club or a department in Aston? And how can I participate in the activities of the Design Factory?
Yeah, so it sits largely within the College of Engineering and Physical Sciences, but the student projects are open to all students. And, we're really clear about that because business students, economics students, psychology students can all make a contribution to this and come up with these different perspectives and different ideas. So anybody can sign up. They basically go out either online or sometimes we send text messages to students with a link to sign up. And then people sort of self-organize in groups. So that's the best way to start getting involved, is to sort of come along to some of the challenges or some of the talks that go on. For international students, quite often we'll have social events at the beginning of the year or the term, just to get people engaged and find each other and make some friends. So recently we've been holding those in Design Factory as well. For engineering. But yeah, just come and talk to staff. The thing about Aston is I think the staff are very approachable. So if you want to engage, what we're looking for in Design Factory is motivated students who want to contribute. So come and talk to us.
Brilliant. I'm sure Salah would agree that he said the people in Birmingham are nice, but I think the people on Aston's campus are nice as well. The staff and the other students. It's really a place where you are part of a community, and as you go around, you can ask people, where's this, where's that sort of thing. It's a really nice place. And then Mohammed has asked, will I be able to join Design Factory right after enrolling on the course and attending physically, or is it some module? It's not a module, is it? But if you're watching this and you're a student who's going to be starting in January, because Aston's got big intakes in January that we take students into. We're one of the top engineering schools open in a January start date in the UK. When should they be joining, and when should they first expect to hear about this?
Yeah, so we're running events sort of really every few weeks. They seem to be going on at the moment. So just look out for an event when you arrive. I'm pretty sure that my colleague Sylvia Wong will also be in touch with certainly students in our college about a social event anyway at the beginning of term. So yeah, come along and start talking. You don't have to join as such. We'd like you to get on the mailing list, and then we can tell you what's going on. And yeah, it's extracurricular generally. There are some modules that do interact with the Design Factory. And those will actually increase next year. But for January starters, just come along and say hi and come to an event, and then we'll take it from there.
Mitesh has just asked a question that I was thinking actually, and I'm glad you've asked it, Mitesh. So is it only open to students who are in the College of Engineering and Physical Sciences, or students on a specific course?
No, not at all. It's an all-comers thing. So as long as you want to engage and contribute, then you're more than welcome.
So students from marketing, students from even the health sciences could be coming along. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. I hadn't realised that. That's really interesting.
So the other thing we do, obviously we've got BSEEN, which is our student enterprise organisation track. So we've also been working with those students. So there may be students that want to start their own company or start developing their own project. They can come and interact with Design Factory because we've got people there who can support. I mean, obviously we can't take on large amounts of work, but there's people there who can advise. And so we're building that kind of community really of innovators and entrepreneurs and people that want to make things, which I guess is what we're most interested in, being either in the digital side or in the hardware side. So anybody can come along.
That's brilliant. Okay. Well, thank you for the questions, though. Keep them coming. Let us know where you're joining us from today. Our next question is for Jude, though, and is about the Aston Global Advantage. So what is the Aston Global Advantage, and typically what would a student be doing during their master's year as a part of the Aston Global Advantage scheme?
Thank you for asking. It actually sits very nicely alongside the question that Mitesh just asked as well. I'm going to describe to you what the Aston Global Advantage looks like for a student in the business school, but we have the Aston Global Advantage in other schools as well, but it's slightly different. But certainly for the business school, for students joining in January, they will start the Aston Global Advantage immediately. It is our professional development programme, and the aim of that programme is to make sure that when you leave, you are work ready. It's as simple as that. It's called the Aston Global Advantage because it will hopefully give you a clear advantage when you actually get out there looking for that job. So it starts in term 1. And the first thing we do is we give you an experience of what it is like to experience an assessment centre, a recruitment assessment centre in the UK. And part of that typically often puts you into groups with people you've not worked with before, and you're asked to do some group work, and you then get feedback on that. So we do that immediately after induction week, and then the group that you are in, you will work with for that term, for that semester. Now, during the first semester, you will have extensive support on team working so that you really understand the psychology behind teams. Critically important, there are no organisations these days pretty much that don't have some form of team structure. And at the same time, you will be getting an awful lot of support with thinking about where to go, so careers management. Now, in the first term, we have the business challenge. So within these groups, and they are multicultural groups and they are multidisciplinary groups, we partner with high-profile organisations to get you working as consultants on a live business issue. And just to give you an idea, we worked with the Commonwealth Games for 2 years. We've worked with Birmingham Pride, the LGBTQ plus rights organisation. We've worked with a local organisation that looks at youth homelessness. We've worked with the Canal and River Trust, which is the organisation in the UK which looks after our waterways. And I'm currently working with, and I'm hoping some of you will recognise this, Aston Villa. And Aston Villa are setting this year's challenge, particularly the charity arm of Aston Villa Football Club. So you work on a live issue that the partner organisation sets. You prepare a recorded presentation, and those are graded, and the top 5 groups then go on to present live to the sponsoring organisation. So we have students working here now. And it will be the same for anybody joining us in January. You will be given the opportunity to present your work live to Aston Villa Foundation. In the second term, because don't forget, the AGA, the Aston Global Advantage, spans the whole year. In the second term, you will work specifically with your individual programme. And the idea of that is that they will design practical activities to give you some experience of putting into practice the theories that you are learning about in your discipline. We partner again with a lot of professional organisations. You may have heard of the CIPD, that's the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, the CMI, Chartered Management Institute, and the CIM, the Chartered Institute of Marketing. And all of these, so we are working alongside them. And some of, not all, but some of the degree programmes offer what we call micro-credentials, which means that you would, for that term, you would study some sort of external qualification. You don't just get your degree, you perhaps also, for example, get a CMI qualification. Others that we're offering are Prince 2, project management, agile project management. So these are what we call these micro-credentials, but they're all extras. In the final term, which is at this point, you will have completed your taught part of your course. So you'll be in the dissertation stage. And alongside this, you do one of 4 experiential learning streams. These can last for anything from about a month up to 12 months. You can opt to study abroad, and we have over 70 partner organisations all over the world. you can go and study with them. We offer a work-based experience. We have the Aston Business Clinic, where again you will be partnered and working with live organisations, virtual internships, again working with live organisations but virtually, or there can be any form of suitable employment, and that can be anywhere in the world. So, you've got the opportunity wherever you come from in the world, you can come to the UK to study, but then you might think, well, I'd like to go to the States and work for a month. So there are these opportunities. Please note, we don't find you the jobs. You have to find your own job, but you do get full career support to do that. You can also do a business simulation, and that is not as boring as it might seem. You would be put again into multidisciplinary groups, and you become the board of directors of a multinational automotive manufacturer. And the simulation.
When you say a multidisciplinary group there, what do you mean?
Right, because this is all of the master's degrees in the business school. Within a group of 6, you might have somebody doing marketing, somebody doing HR, you might have somebody doing accounting and finance, somebody else doing business analysis, and so on. So
these are people you typically wouldn't maybe know because they're in different courses.
Absolutely.
So it really is. Yeah, okay.
We try to make the AGA as much like real life as possible.
Yeah.
And of course, the board of directors doesn't have all finance people. It doesn't have all marketing people. It has a mix of specialities who work together as a multidisciplinary team and learn from each other. And that's the important bit. Sorry, so does that clear that one up?
I think so. Yeah, no, it's really, really interesting. Yeah. And to hear as well that the students coming in January are going to be getting to work with the Aston Villa Foundation. Yeah. I didn't know that. I don't know if we've announced that before, so possibly a world exclusive there for this webinar.
Yeah. The fourth option for them in that final term is which is product intellectual property and entrepreneurship, and that will give them the skills that they need to start up their own organisation. So they will learn about how to network, how to raise finance, how to raise capital, how to market their product, how to find business partners, and the legal aspects also. So risks around actually having the business, but also things like employment law. So there's a huge amount there. Our students don't just leave here with a master's degree. They leave with so much more. I mean, for example, a lot of students who choose Stream 2 for work experience, it's not uncommon when they get to the end of their 3 months internship or whatever it is, for the organisation to offer them a permanent role, because they are so impressed. I mean, obviously it's not guaranteed, but it's not uncommon. And so that really is what the Aston Global Advantage is for the business school. As I said, it's a little bit different if you're an EPS student, so you'd be coming under Kate's area, sort of, engineering and physical sciences, that sort of thing. But they have their own version, which may have some of those elements, possibly not all of them. But that's the AGA.
Thank you. It's really interesting, and I've seen the development that it can create in a person. I had a lady who was working for me who took a career break to come study at Aston and did the AGA, and then she came back to work for me afterwards, and I could see the difference in her that it had made. So that's really good. What are the benefits then of doing the Aston Global Advantage for an individual?
There are personal benefits and there are career benefits. The personal benefits are that you will be exposed to things that you would not normally perhaps be exposed to. It will certainly develop your professionalism. At the very beginning of the year, I say to the students, for the purpose of the AGA, you are not a student. Although obviously you are, you've got assessments and what have you, but I want you to think of yourself as an employee, as a professional person, and behave accordingly. So of course, many of our students, over 90% of them are actually international students. We're a wonderful multicultural student community. But it gives them the opportunity to learn about what are the norms of working in the UK, being a professional here. They develop so many transferable, what we call non-technical skills. So yes, if you are a marketing person, you will go away with your marketing degree, but you will also go away with a whole raft of other things: communications, teamworking, leading yourself and leading other people, analysis and problem solving, intercultural skills, and so on. So it's almost like a micro organization that you will be working in for the whole year. Of course, all of these things, the careers people will help you, but they need to go on your CV. Because when you're trying to get that job, that wonderful job at the end of it all, your CV needs to be the one that really stands out to employers. But when you can put on there that you've worked as a consultant with Aston Villa, that you've worked for perhaps 3 months as a consultant with one of our the other people, as you know, as in term 3 for the experiential learning. In term 2, you know, the fact that you've also got a qualification awarded by the Chartered Institute of Marketing, or a Prince 2 qualification, that's a project management qualification on top of your degree. You've just got so much more. So not only have you got it, but you're able to demonstrate it. And when you get in, when that CV does what it's supposed to do and open the door, get you an interview invitation, you've got so much more to talk about in that interview. Those competency questions: tell me about a time when you had to work on a demanding challenge in a team. Those sorts of questions, immediately you can offer something. And when you start talking to employers about Aston Villa or Birmingham Pride or the Commonwealth Games, these are real differentiators. This is what makes Aston students different.
That makes sense to me. And I think what you're saying about how it gives people things to talk about in interviews when they go for work, I know one of the things we might want to point out to people watching, because a lot of the people that have said they're watching are from outside the UK, is that when they come to the UK, that culture about how you apply for a job and interviews and what to expect can be different to what people have experienced at home. So these things are useful skills to be able to develop, especially for people looking to work in the UK. I think the next thing I was going to ask you was, from the point of view of the students, what are parts of the AGA that they enjoy the most, or to be the best bits?
I think mixing with people from all over the world, the cultural aspects of it, and not just that. I mean, you asked Salah also about what did you enjoy Birmingham? Birmingham is one of the most multicultural cities in the world. It's certainly the most multicultural city in the UK. And what we've got at Aston is a microcosm of the whole of what's going on in Birmingham. So you will be working with people and learning to work with them. And that's the important bit, because when you get out into the world, you're unlikely to be working in a team with a team of people who are just like you. And knowing how to actually get along with and be productive with people from different cultures is a critically important skill. I think the thing that they love the most is actually working on real organizational issues with real organizations. These aren't case studies. It's not a case of you've got 5 or 6 sheets of paper to read and then come up with some analysis and answers. You actually you speak to real people from the organizations. They can help you to do that, but also you're then presenting your findings back to them and getting valuable feedback. Is that, are your ideas will they really stand up? Will they be feasible? Are they implementable in the real world? And I think the social aspects, again, on Aston, in many respects, we're a small university compared to many in the UK, but we're also the most incredibly friendly university. We've got this lovely campus right in the middle of Birmingham city centre, but with so much to offer. And my own experience is that it's not just the Aston Global Advantage that students love, but it's Aston. as a place to learn and to be together. And that is, I mean, Salah, does that sort of fit with your experience of being here as a student?
Yeah, Jude, exactly. You said it very nice. Aston, in the center of Birmingham, just gives you the opportunity to explore this city. You're close to everywhere. The multicultural opportunities in the city and in the Aston itself, and many connections with the industry. Like I've been in business school and in EPS. Both of them gives us different opportunities to work with the real world industrials and organizations, and everything here was great. For me, it was like a dream comes true, actually.
There we go. That's what students like.
I've seen students say that about the AGA before. So we've got some questions, but we'd love to have any questions that you have if you're watching for the panel here today. We'd love to involve you in the conversation. And thank you for joining and sticking with us. Mohammed has asked, how wide is the job market for someone who has completed an MSc in AI with business strategy? So Jude, you're off the hook with this one, I think. But hey, Salah, do you have any kind of insights to share there?
I can sorry, I can say by my experience, I've seen my classmates, most of them, they go for the AI section because they are like technical people. But some people, they got interested in the business section, the strategic management section, and went to this way. But I think I don't know. Maybe we were just good students because, like, at least as I know, at least I know close to 50% of our classmates are working now part time. They are started working, or they have been employed already. So the experience and the expertise you learn here with studying AI with business strategy gives you a dual path of going as an engineer, working like what I do as a software developer, as an AI engineer or data scientist, or many other fields that are available for this part. But you have the chance to work as a consultant, as a management consulting, as a business strategist. And these dual paths, for me, like I said, because I was working in the industry before, it was like exact bridge between two parts, like that I was working with, like to work with the clients, to talk with them, to negotiate for the projects, and to implement them and the best way. AI with business strategy gives me these two big opportunities, which I am really grateful. And yeah, I'm not, especially if you be engaged during your studies, with especially with the assessments and whatever the courses modules will offer, you will be completely ready for the job market. And I think you don't need, especially AI with AI people, they don't need to be worried about this section.
Well, that's good to hear. Kate, is Salah and his friends a one-off, or are they the only good students we see, or are we finding that to be the case quite often?
No. So I mean, I think it is a competitive job market. Any job market is competitive now, and it's important for students coming that they fully engage in the opportunities that they're given, rather than just hoping that at the end of a degree that they will get a good outcome. But we're looking at almost 50-60% of jobs being impacted by AI, and that might be a conservative estimate. So in every business, AI is going to significantly change how we operate. And I think something like AI with business strategy gives you the understanding of the business side of things with the technical know-how to know what's possible and be able to start a project and spec a project. And so those people, I think, will be particularly in demand because that you kind of sit with a foot in both camps and be able to translate, I think, what each side wants out of the relationship. So yeah, I think it's a sort of thing. Make sure you engage with the course, that you're thinking about your career at the beginning, and I think it should be fine. I've worked quite a lot with data science students, and it's quite a allied course. And of the 3 students I've directly related to, one is working down the road as a data analyst for BT, which is our sort of incumbent telecommunications company. One is working now in the team at Aston as an analyst, and another is working for the NHS as an analyst. So, we can see the students coming through, engaging, and they're getting jobs.
Brilliant. Okay. Ladi has asked as well, what support is offered in terms of securing a placement or graduate role by Aston Global Advantage? And can the dissertation stage be conducted with an external organisation? That's a really good question. Jude, can you tell us more?
I'll do it. Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to answer the second part of that bit first.
Okay.
And absolutely. If you can find an organisation that wants to welcome you in as an intern, now that could be a paid role, it could be a voluntary role, but if they are also happy for you to do your master's dissertation with them, then that is a double bonus, and we are perfectly happy for that to happen. Obviously, it would be subject to the usual, approval by your supervisor, and to make sure that everything is going to work for both your specialist discipline in terms of your degree, from the dissertation point of view, and also from the Aston Global Advantage. But yes, absolutely you can. And if you've got organisations perhaps owned by a relative or something like this, who you can get access to easily for the purpose of data collection and possibly do some work for them, again, provided they meet all the criteria, we welcome those. Now, to answer the first half of that question, right from that term 1, if you remember, you're having careers management sessions, which will take you through how to find opportunities, how to apply for them, build your CV. But in our careers and placements department, we have dedicated specialists who will work with you. Now, every week they publish a long list of opportunities, and those are permanent jobs, internship jobs, all different roles. Now, yes, you've still got to click on the link and apply in the usual way, but they are doing a lot of the legwork for you, so that you're not spending hours each week looking through the adverts to try to find those roles. And they can also organise them into categories for you. So if you're looking for a job in a particular sector or in a particular discipline, then it's much easier for you. During the application process, they will check you and have a look at your CV and your application forms. They will do mock interviews with you, to make sure that you are as interview ready, as work ready as we can possibly get you. So you've got so much support, and that actually goes on for 2 years after you leave Aston as well. So if a lot of students decide that they want to stay on and work in the UK after they graduate, but during that time that you are here on a graduate route visa, we're still helping you. You can always come back and talk to the careers support people if you're struggling. So hopefully that answers that question, Ladi.
It does, and it brings us on to Lucy's question, which she says, I understand that Aston Global Advantage is not available in the April enrolment. And I guess what we need to know is what is available and what's the reason for that change.
It's purely a logistics thing at the moment. Now, the April students do a module called the Global Business Challenge, and we've actually only got an 8-week period across the summer. Because of the April start and trying to fit everything in with the normal rhythms of when graduate recruiters are actually advertising and so on, what we do is you spend the middle part of your degree doing the Global Business Challenge, and that contains, you will still be working on a live organisations challenge. You will still be presenting live to that organisation. You will still be doing the business simulation. We also couple that with the all of the training for your team working. You've got your full career support, but also running through that. And because this is for all business students on the April intake, we do a whole section on strategic management. So you don't worry, Lucy, you're not losing out. You're just doing something a little bit different, but you would still have loads to talk about. Within that thing. And as Kate has just asked you that question, which programme are you planning to do? Because the different colleges do things slightly differently, I'm having to sort of I can speak specifically about what the business school do, but in general terms, and I'm sure that Kate would be able to give you more information about the actual detail of what EPS do if you're joining them there. Let's have a look. What else have we got in here?
I think that was it for Jude's comment. Today has been great. It's been our largest webinar of this series in terms of the number of people watching. So thank you to all of you for joining us from all over the world. We'll finish on a high. So Salah, do you want to see us out by telling us what your favorite thing about Aston has been?
Okay, I think I mentioned most of them, but let's go through them again. Like I said, I chose Aston because of its practical approach toward teaching. And when I came here, I see that in real life, that it is really toward a practical, the assessments, the modules, the courses, everything designed to make you ready for the job market. Even the assessments that we did for the AI modules, we added most of them, me and my friend, we added most of them in our CV as a project because they were real work projects. And besides that, teaching excellence and the connections with the industry and design factory and the events that we all talked about, I really liked the campus itself. It's so beautiful. It's in city center. We have access to everywhere in Birmingham, and the amenities are a lot. We have a lot of things to do there, and you have always have something to do in Aston, like that is good for your career or for your studying and stuff. During my studying here in Aston, I got besides my master's degree, I got 4 certificates from top technological industrial companies like NVIDIA and Microsoft and Amazon. Different things always happening in Aston, which was quite interesting for me. And yeah, beside that, one thing that I particularly liked last year about Aston was that they invited the Aston Villa team here, and they just gave us some signed T-shirts. And it's I know it just must be it's a little bit irrelevant, but it's not just studying. Here is everything is very interesting, and the multicultural space and environment, and I have friends from all over the world now. So those are the things that I never let go, and I was very lucky to study here in Aston.
Good, brilliant. Well, thank you to each of my panelists for your time today, and thank you most of all to those of you watching. Today's been great, and we look forward to seeing you in January. Thank you, and take care.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.